Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be talking about self-care. I know that self-care is one of those things where maybe there's a lot of confusion around it. People think that, it's bubble baths and chocolate and champagne anyway, it's very popular in the wellness world for people to just be pushing, oh, take care of yourself, self-care, self-care. But I think that there's maybe a missing component of what does it actually mean to take good care of yourself. And I think that, as adults, we don't necessarily equate self-care with nurturing in the way that we would think of, like, what is it like to take care of someone that we care about, someone that's special, a child, a pet, a loved one. We don't necessarily apply those care techniques to ourselves. If you can think about someone maybe that has been sick in your life or went to the hospital and came home, the kinds of things that you would do for them to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel cared for, whether it's giving them nourishing food, maybe getting them flowers, giving them a good book to read, providing a quiet space, cleaning their home. All of those kinds of things really would apply to us when we think of self-care routines or practices. So for me, one of the big ways that I take care of myself is through creating quiet space for myself, regulating my outgoing energy so that I maintain my own equilibrium better. So conscious boundaries is a good way of starting the self-care process. Of course, making yourself a cup of tea, having something delicious to eat, and ritualizing those things are also great ways of taking care of yourself. And ritualizing means, like, if you're going to make yourself a cup of tea, choose a tea that you love. Use a mug that makes you smile when you use it. And carve out the space to just enjoy that cup of tea, maybe looking out a window, sitting in your favorite nook, whatever it is, but ritualizing it makes it something that nourishes body and mind and spirit, instead of just, oh yeah, I'm having a cup of tea on the go. Totally different experience. So that's one of the simple things that we can do. Some of the deeper practices for self-care involve really looking at your experience, really looking at your life and letting go of things that actually drain your energy. Whether it be people, situations, even just some of the clutter in your home. Sometimes we can feel overwhelmed by our surroundings, and especially during this time of pandemic where we are just in our homes so much, it can be really soothing to look at your internal landscape of your home and really pick and choose the things that bring you joy or they don't, and take the time to kind of release some of the clutter, organize some things that are kind of cause you anxiety when you see that pile, clear out your wardrobe maybe, because we have clothes that we don't like as much as other clothes we hope to fit into one day instead of just accepting where we're at today. All these things cause inner clutter and anxiety. So a great way to take care of yourself mentally is to smooth out your environment. So then when we talk about self-care in more of a spiritual context, what we want to think about is what's happening on the inside. So not just our thought processes, but also like what our physical heart experience is, and then where we are at as far as our own connection with ourselves. Meditation is a great way of entering into that space to see what's going on. A lot of times when we think about meditation, we think of it in terms of strictly a Buddhist practice or a sitting meditation where it's like you have to remain totally still, totally calm, and try to attain this sort of empty space. Whereas meditation and mindfulness really are just turning our attention inward so that we can know ourselves better, wade through some of the chatter, step back into an observer role in our own minds and just see some of the stories that are playing. But even just 5 minutes of sitting and just listening to yourself without judgment is deep care for yourself. It creates an inner awareness and an inner spaciousness that you can enter into. So as we head into December, today being December 1st, and we move towards this kind of consolidation of our energy, coming home, being cozy, it's different than most years because we no longer have this sense of homecoming. What we have is maybe more of a sense of claustrophobia because here it is winter and we're still indoors, we're still with all of our family, and the weather is now cold. So it's this time of year that I think practicing self-care will bring us through this season and actually enable us to care for others in the process. Of course, what we need is to meet our own needs first so that we have something to give to others. So just on this theme, I have a free self-care worksheet that is something I'm going to post on my website. Anybody can use it. It has a beautiful front page. It has some processes, some like worksheet fill-in spaces, and then the final page is just the two pages. The final page is just affirmations for body, mind, spirit, and emotions. And the reason that I love affirmations is because we have to work with our subconscious to really make progress. And affirmations are that reprogramming piece. So when we use affirmations, we want to say them out loud, we want to say them daily, and what it does is it reinforces a new story and a new message. And the programming we have in there is already coming in on a regular basis. And so it does take effort to rewrite the programming. If you want to talk to me more about some deeper work for reprogramming, we can talk about hypnotherapy. But in the meantime, please enjoy this worksheet as my gift to you. Take care.